Welcome to the I Work for Him podcast. I'm Michael Miracle, producer of the I Work for Him radio program, the voice of the faith and work movement. Our mission is to transform the workplace of every Christian into a mission field. What does that look like in your workplace? Let's find out right now.
This is Jim and Martha Brangenberg.
And we are so excited to share with you an excerpt from our new collaborative resource, sheWorks4Him. Embrace your calling as a Christian woman at work.
You may be wondering, Jim, why are you helping do the intro to a book about women in the workplace? Well, it's because over the last 8 years of being on air, interviewing workplace believers, we heard so many stories coming from women of faith who love to work outside of the home and be a part of the marketplace, but felt second place in the kingdom. This should never be. So that kicked off a 1.5-year-long journey of Martha and me to create a collaborative resource that would encourage every Christian working woman.
sheWorks4Him was written to celebrate, validate, encourage, and equip women in the workplace to vibrantly live out their faith in every area of life. In addition to myself, we invited 19 other women of faith to contribute their own inspiring stories of activating their workplace mission field. The audiobook version of sheWorks4Him is especially exciting as each chapter is read by its contributing author.
As our gift to you, we're releasing the audio from the introduction and first chapter on our podcast, so you can get a feel for the content inside sheWorks4Him. Embrace your calling as a Christian woman at work. Enjoy! Introduction. I'm so excited for you to read sheWorks4Him. Embrace your calling as a Christian woman at work. Each chapter has been written by a Christian working woman who has been our guest on the I Work4Him show. We've heard their hearts on the air and asked them to share their unique work experiences in this book. Each chapter also includes thought-provoking, spiritually challenging questions designed to help you shape your perspective as a Christian working woman. These can work in a small group of trusted friends or just with you and the Lord all alone. Why do we do this project? Because as a Christian working woman, you need to know that you are not the only one struggling to live out your purpose in your work. We learn a lot from other people's faith stories, so it's our hope and prayer that each chapter helps you feel more celebrated, validated, understood, and resourced for living out your faith in your work. I've never met a woman who hasn't worked hard, trying to be everything to everyone. Your workplace may be at home or in the high-rise. Almost all women suffer from trying to do it all. T.J. Tyson described this complex in her book, Killing Wonder Woman. T.J. wrote a chapter in the I Work4Him, Change the Way You Think About Your Faith at Work. We want you to embrace who God created you to be, not fulfill the expectations of culture or the church. God has given you a unique set of gifts, talents, and abilities. Your spiritual gifts are from Him. 1 Peter 4:10 says, God has given each of you a gift from His great variety of spiritual gifts. Use them well to serve one another. He gifted you to do the things you're doing. He placed you in the workplace you were in because He needed and wanted you there. You were called into the world to be a living and breathing example of the gospel in your work. As you turn each page, you will see how God has led these Christian working women to serve in their job more effectively using their unique giftedness. Sisters, you are a gift and a blessing. With your busy schedule, it's easy to let your priorities suffer. Remember this. Your number one priority is growing in your life with Christ, getting closer to the Father every day. All other priorities seem to fall in order when we keep Him as our number one. The amazing women who wrote each chapter are willingly sharing a part of their story to both encourage and challenge you. I pray that it will launch you with renewed purpose in your workplace mission field. Jim Brangenberg, talk show host and mentor, iWork4Him.com.
Chapter 1. What hat do I wear today? Martha Brangenberg. As a little girl, I had an extensive hat collection. I'm pretty sure it started because someone told me I looked good in a hat. The red sunbonnet, made from bandana material, made me feel sweet and old-fashioned. I loved wearing the patchworked floppy sun hat to shade my face when relaxing outside. I splurged on a black felt fedora to wear to the 8th grade disco dance. My hat collection's crowning jewel had to be the coveted maroon and gold sombrero, worn only as a costume and clumsy to display. The hat tree in my bedroom held dozens of options, but I could only wear one at a time, and the one selected depended on my activities. Hats can symbolize a specific time in history, a fashion statement, a culture, or a purpose. No matter which hat is on my head, I am still the same person underneath. I may look different based on which hat I am wearing, but I am still 100% the same person. The same is true of our lives. We wear many symbolic hats. I may be making lunches, posting journal entries, merchandising a store, teaching a small group Bible study, or hosting an interview, but it's all the same person doing these things. God has given me different roles to fill, but one life to live. It would be exhausting to change hats all day long. So I ask myself these questions. What hat represents my role as a Jesus follower? Would I take it off before I put another one on? Would I put another hat on top of my faith hat and hide it? Should my faith hat be a part of my daily wardrobe, no matter what job I am doing? 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, "When someone becomes a Christian, he becomes a brand new person inside. He is not the same anymore. A new life has begun." If this is true for me, and Jesus changes me, then I have a permanent hat to wear, and according to the Bible, it's a crown. 2 Timothy 4:8. I can wear this crown everywhere I go and for everything I do. This crown is integrated into my wardrobe and sets the environment for all that I do. Just think, no more hat changes, and we get to wear a tiara every day. In life, women change roles like I used to change hats, often. We may have so many parts we don't even know which hat we are wearing. It can be confusing and tiring to keep changing hats. There is a better way to handle this. According to Psalms 139:13, He knit us together in our mother's womb. I am not separate pieces, but entirely knit together. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, so we can do the good things He planned for us long ago." Our Creator wants to be involved in every detail of our lives, not segmented pieces, but every part. When I asked Jesus to be my Lord and Savior, He didn't save me just for Sunday morning. Jesus changed me completely, all of me, every minute of every day and every detail of my life. This is good news. I can do everything wearing the same hat. Just start the day with the crown and leave it on all day. This crown is to be worn everywhere I go and for everything I do. It is integrated into my being and sets the environment for all that I encounter. I'll wear my crown on a Zoom call, in the grocery store, in traffic, taking out the trash, when I post on social media, answering emails, and everywhere in between. It's time to integrate Jesus into every aspect of life as a Christian working woman. She Works for Him will help us see how to wear the crown all day, every day. God is giving us a front row seat to learn from the lives of over a dozen wonderful Christian working women. Some days our crown might be crooked or need to be polished, but that is why we need each other. I'll straighten your crown if you'll straighten mine. My view of hats has changed over the years, and I currently only have one hat in my closet, a casual baseball cap that I wear on occasion. I think it's time to trade it in and get a tiara.
Martha Brangenberg, iWork4Him.com. Co-host of the I Work for Him show, a nonprofit ministry serving others by transforming the workplace of every Christian into a mission field. Born into an entrepreneurial family, Martha is an experienced professional with a demonstrated history of working in insurance, Christian retail, and the broadcast media industries. She is skilled in operations and management and has strong attention to detail and a love of people. Her hobbies include gardening, DIY projects, and mentoring marriages with her husband, Jim. Her books: I Work for Him, I Retire for Him, and She Works for Him.
Chapter 1 Questions. Number 1. List some of the hats you wear every week. Number 2. Which hat do you wear the most? Number 3. Which hat is the most uncomfortable? Number 4. Which hat do you love to wear most often? Number 5. As a daughter of the King, your tiara is the hat you should be wearing every day. What is keeping you from doing that? Number 6. Look up Romans 12:2. What kind of mind shift do you need to experience to wear that tiara proudly everywhere you go? Number 7. In your own words, what does it mean to wear the tiara that I talk about? Number 8. How will this view of the tiara impact your work? We hope you enjoyed this excerpt from the audiobook version of She Works for Him, Embrace Your Calling as a Christian Woman at Work. To finish the rest of the book and hear many impactful stories of women of faith, we encourage you to purchase and download a copy of the She Works for Him audiobook on Amazon. And did you know there is now a weekly She Works for Him podcast where you can hear stories of working women of faith? Just search for She Works for Him. That's sheworks4Him.
You can purchase a hard copy of She Works for Him online at iwork4him.com/bookstore. You can also find more information about our other 2 books, I Work for Him and I Retire for Him, at iwork4him.com/bookstore. That's iwork4him.com/bookstore. Thanks for taking time to listen.
Did you know that God has a calling on your life? It's true. He's called you to bring Jesus to the world. For some, that may look like a pulpit or a foreign mission field, but for most of us, it looks like a construction site, a cubicle, a hospital, or a classroom. Wherever it is that you work, live, volunteer, and invest, that is your mission field. To learn more about integrating your faith into your work and retirement, check out our books, I Work for Him, She Works for Him, and I Retire for Him, by going to iwork4him.com/bookstore.
Thank you for listening to the I Work for Him podcast with your hosts, Jim and Martha Brangenberg. Please visit iwork4him.com to learn more about connecting your faith and work, to join the I Work for Him Nation, or subscribe to our weekly blog. You can also follow us on social media at I Work for Him to stay up to date and meet our guests. If today's message spoke to you, please subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast platform. Your review will launch more workplace missionaries across America. That's at I Work for Him and online iwork4him.com. I work the number 4him.com.